In this video, we're going to be solving some half-angle identity formulas. Okay, so now let's start with number 3. So first you have to decide the signs for a over 2. So what's the sign gonna be? So now if now we see right here, this is the interval. If it's between pi over 2 to a and to pi, then you're dividing by 2. So that means that we have like a over 2. We're gonna have a over 2. We're finding a over 2, but we have pi over 2, a pi, so you have to divide by 2, which basically means you multiply by 2 right there, divide by 2, so then it becomes pi over 4, a over 2, then pi over 2. Okay, so that's how you get a over 2. So this is a over 2 is in Q1, so that means that you have positive sign and positive cosine. So now you have to find cosine of a. So we're to find cosine of a. In Q2, you have a negative cosine. And since you have that a is, since you have sine of a is equal to root 3 over 2, that means that the reference angle is equal to pi over 3. So because you have that, like, now you can infer that cosine of a is gonna equal to -1/2, and now we can use our half angle formulas. So now you can use sine a over 2 is equal to positive 1 minus cosine of a divided by 2, and this is going to equal to 1 minus -1 minus -1 over 2, and then that's divided by 2. That's going to be, now this is going to be equal to 3 over 2 divided by 2, and that's going to equal to 3 over 4, which is equal to 3 over 2, and now this is going to equal to cosine of a over 2, and it's going to equal to positive 1 plus cosine of a divided by 2, and this is going to equal to this is going to equal to 1 plus -1/2 divided by 2, and then this is going to equal to 1/2 divided by 2, and this is going to equal to 1 over 4, and this is going to equal to 1/2. So yeah, so that's it for question 3. Now let's move on to question 4. So for question 4, okay, let's actually like sort this like work over here. It's kind of getting like messy. Okay, for 4, now we had to find the sign. First, we're gonna find the sign for a. So now in order to find the sign for a, so okay, we already are given that like pi is less than a, and that's gonna be like less than 3 pi over 2. So now we have to divide this by everything by 2, because we're trying to get that like a over 2. So yeah, so it's gonna be a over 2, pi over 2, a over 2, over 3 pi over 4. So now you know that a over 2, that's gonna be in Q2. So that means that therefore you know that like sine a over 2 is gonna be greater than 0, because that's gonna be positive sign, as you know, in SACT. And and then that also means that cosine a over 2 is gonna be negative, because you know that's gonna be negative in that quadrant. So now we're gonna use now that you know the signs, you can get the correct HA formulas. So now with the correct HA formulas, you can get sine a over 2. Now, okay, wait, hold on, let's move all this over a little bit. Now you get positive 1 minus cosine of alpha divided by 2, and now down here you get cosine a over 2 is equal to negative 1 plus cosine a divided by 2. Now, okay, that's going to be equal to 1 minus negative 3 over 5. Now, that's going to be divided by 2. Now, that's going to be 8 over 5. And then this is going to be 2. This is going to be 8 over 10. This is going to be equal to 4 over 5. And then this is going to be equal to 2 over the root of 5. And this is going to be 2 over the root of 5 over 5. Now for this is going to be 1 plus negative 3 over 5. And then this is going to be equal to 2. Okay, equal to negative 2 over 5 divided by 2 equals to negative, okay, whatever, 2 over 10. That's going to equal to negative 1 over 5. That's going to equal to negative 1 over the square root of 5. That's going to equal to negative 5 over 5. So those are going to be your answers. Now for this one, this is going to be kind of weird. So you have to recognize that 22.5 for 5 is going to be like, recognize that sine 22.5 is going to be equal to sine of 45 over 2. Now you can do the half angle formula of sine of theta over 2 is equal to positive or minus 1 minus cosine of theta divided by 2. But here theta is equal to 45 degrees, but also remember that 22.5 degrees in Q1 is positive. So that means that we would use the positive sign. So here theta is gonna equal to, okay, yeah, hit the what is it, also, but like both of them are also positive, so this is gonna be like theta, like both of them are positive, so like it doesn't really matter technically, but you know what, it's okay. So 1 minus cosine of 45 degrees divided by 2 is going to equal to 1 minus the root of 2 over 2 divided by 2. Okay, oops. And now we can simplify this down. Okay, so you get like, yeah, so you get 2 over 2 minus root 2 over 2 divided by 2. This is going to equal to 2 minus root 2 over 2 over 2. And this is going to equal to 2 minus root 2 over 4. And then this is going to equal to root 2 minus root 2 over 2. And then, yeah, that's going to be the final answer. So now let's move on to question 6. Find the exact value of cosine of 15 degrees. So in order to do this, you can rewrite cosine of 15 as is equal to cosine of 45 degrees minus 30 degrees. And then because you can identify that this is also like this is basically in the form of cosine A minus B, and then when it's in that form, you can basically identify that it's like cosine A times cosine of B plus sine of A times sine of B, and it's basically the same thing as cosine of 45 degrees times cosine of 30 degrees plus sine of 45 degrees times sine of 30 degrees. And when you have this, you basically know that cosine of 45 degrees is always root 2 over 2, and then cosine of 30 is always root 3 over 2, and then you're going to add this to root 2 over 2 times 1/2, and then when you simplify all this down, that's going to be root 6 over 4, and then plus you can, so basically, yeah, you just like multiply, then you have root 2 over 4, and then you can simplify this, same common denominator, 6 plus root 2 over 4. That's gonna be your final answer, and that's it. We're done for how to use half angles for cosine, half angle identities for cosine and sine.